Hi judges, this is Megan. I'm your tournament director here at the NSDA of Korea. This is our first time doing Asian parliamentary debate, and since it is an early morning, I wanted to go ahead and give you a video clip of what to expect tomorrow and just some logistics. So first off, we'll be at the International Hall on Korea University campus. The best way to get to that hall is by taking Anam Station, exit 2. And then from exit 2, just walk through the campus and stay to the far left. The building itself, if you were to take an aerial view, kind of looks like an H on its side. Go ahead and go to around to the back entrance. There will only be one entrance open that comes into the second floor of the building, and it's a big foyer. In that foyer, go ahead and make a right and go to the elevators on the right-hand side and come up to the 5th floor, and the judges' room will be in 517 or 516. So again, go to the 2nd floor entrance, which is around and kind of up a little bit of a hill in the International Hall, and then go to the far right of that building to the elevators. The elevators will be located, I think, just beyond the foyer there on the 5th floor. So now that you know where we are, when you arrive, please come at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I know that is an early morning, so don't spend out too much time drinking tonight or doing whatever you have to do. We will have some food for you in the morning and a little bit of coffee because, again, we do appreciate it. So first off, logistics. The first round will go off at 9 o'clock. I'll meet with you from 8 to 8:30, and then I'll be meeting with all of the students from 8:30 to 9. So you guys, if you have any questions, there are some people that have been doing Asian parliamentary for a long time that will be coming to our tournament, and you can ask each other questions and review some stuff. So first off, you're going to get this packet when you come into the judges' room. It has your name on it. And inside are 2 of the documents that I sent to you over email. For a couple of you judges, you're brand new to the email listing, so you don't have the information or maybe have not gotten some time. This first one just gives you an overview of the different speeches and the order of the speeches and what to expect for the debate round itself. So you can go ahead and look at that. It's a nice, simple overview of how that works. The second thing in your packet will be this, and this is how to judge. Now, it may seem a bit daunting because this ballot, which is where you do the judging on, is a bit different than what you've experienced in public forum or Lincoln Douglas or any individual speaking event. So go ahead and read this, but I'm going to go over some of the basics of it right now. Our ballots look like this, and they are pre-written. So if you can see here, it already has your name on it, and then also it has the speakers, their title, their name, and pro and con is selected, which is different from public forum where you flip for sides. Also at the top, it will have the resolution or whatever round it is. So this one is round 1, and if you can see in here, round 1 already has a resolution selected, which is, the motion is, this House should prioritize healthcare in rural areas. This is the only prepared motion for the tournament, and I'll explain a little bit about that afterwards. But what you'll need to do is when you go into the round, you need to ask the speakers who will be their first, second, and third speaker, and write from this name title here, how their name is written here. Go ahead and write that down here. Now, as you can see in the ballot, there's 3 or 4 different categories for what you need to write. It's their name, and then it says something matter, manner, and method, and then the total. That seems like a lot of points that you need to be making. This debate format focuses more than just on the logical arguments being said. It focuses on how they do it, what they say, and the organization that they have. So let's go over those 3 categories real quick. So first off, the first area is the content or the matter that's within their speech. This is worth 40% of their total speaker points. And I have a chart here for everyone of, just for those that don't like to do math, this gives you an example of what is a good, extraordinary speaker, an excellent speaker, a good speaker, a very good speaker, a standard or did all the roles that they needed to do, passing, or needs improvement. And it kind of gives you a points range of what you should be giving for each of those categories. So if you see up here on the excellent, it says 34 for manner, 34 for matter, 17 for method, with a total points of 85. So for an excellent speaker will be at 85 points. No one will receive 100 points. If they're way above average, way above excellent, they might receive more than 85, but generally there's 100 points possible. So with the manner and the method, both of those categories are 40%, or 40% each. And then the strategy is worth 20% to make a total of 100 points. So first off, again, on the manner. The manner is the way that they pace their speech, how their delivery is, their presentation and confidence, if they're a dynamic speaker, versus someone who is maybe vague, unsure of themselves, or unconfident. So that's kind of the spectrum for manner. For matter then, it's the argument styles. Do they have evidence for their arguments? Are they comparing each side of the debate, of the pro-con side? Are they giving responses to the other team's arguments? Are they clear on their responses? Or are they vague? Do their arguments not have a lot of evidence? Or are they not able to provide examples for their arguments? Versus the method, and the method is how they do this. Do they do it in enough time? Do they use all their time? Are they giving argument signposts? Is it clear where they're at in their speech? Those are the three categories that they will be judged on. So at the end of each of their speech, I recommend that you kind of look at this chart and decide where you think they best fit. And it's easy by looking at the names as far as like exceptional, satisfactory, or needs improvement. And you can, if you're not a math person, go ahead and use those points as your qualifier, or make up your points as you go. But generally, on the scale, 85 is an exceptional speaker, and anywhere between 65 and lower is a needs improvement. Please don't go lower than 60 points, so you want to stay between your 85 to 60 range for points. So what you'll do at the end is you'll go ahead and do your team total at the end, and then pick your winning team and write your signature, and then obviously your affiliation is just NSDA hired judge. You can leave any comments on the ballot as well. Now, different than the way that our tournaments run for Public Forum and LD, we have a little bit more time in between rounds, so it's not essential that you get this ballot to me immediately after the round has finished. When the round is over, I want you to give oral comments to each of the judges, or to each of the students. Those comments can be anywhere from first, what are some of the things that both sides did, comparing both sides, things that you liked, things that you didn't like, things that were winning points in the debate, what they could improve on, and any individual comments that you want to give. Now, so it could be on your impression of their engagement of the topic, like how they actually engaged, what was the burden that they were putting forward, were they meeting that burden in the resolution, were they responding to the other teams, and how the response and strength and weaknesses of those responses were good. What were the issues that you thought were most important, and then individual feedback. You should go no longer than 8 to 10 minutes on that for that feedback. Do not reveal who won and who lost, but they'll be able to kind of figure it out even though you're not giving that revealing. So because you've spent that time giving the oral feedback, you don't have as much to write on the ballot, but I do want you to make those general comments on the ballot. However, you don't have to finish those comments when the round is done. Immediately come back to the tab room to receive your second ballot for round 2. Round 2 through round 5 run completely different than round 1. In round 2, you will receive your ballot, and if you see here on the ballot, the motion says resolved resolution impromptu space exploration. What you will then do is go to the room that is assigned, which is written on the ballot as well. Your room number is here, and your team names and numbers. You will go into the room. When both teams have entered, you will hand this to the opposition side. There are 3 topics on here. So this house would promote asteroid mining. This house believes that spaceship Earth is crashing. And this house believes that deep space exploration is a waste of resources. The opposition side, so the negative team, will receive this first. They have 1 minute to strike a resolution they don't like. Whatever resolution they don't want to use, they will strike. So if I were on a team, I might go ahead and eliminate this house would promote asteroid mining. That means the last 2 resolutions that get given to the proposition side, they get to pick the resolution. They strike the second resolution. And then they will hand this to you, and you will say, okay, the resolution that we will be debating in this room will be this house believes that deep space exploration is a waste of resources. When you do that, you will hand them this piece of paper. This piece of paper shows they need to write the round and the resolution. This is the only things they're allowed to use for notes in all impromptu rounds. They are not allowed to bring in any of their own personal notes or any printed material. The only thing allowed in a room is a timer that is not attached to a cell phone or an iPod or anything of that nature. So a timer, this, and their pencil case. The reason that is because impromptu rounds are what we like to call taking the hogwans out of the game, in the sense that they can't be prepared by their coach or anyone else. They have to come up with the arguments themselves, and they can have no printed material to help them on that category. Once they've picked the resolution, the proposition team stays in the room where you will be to make sure that they don't pull anything out of their backpacks, which they shouldn't have at all, or they don't pull any notes out of their pocket. But at that time, when the proposition is preparing, the opposition will go outside the room to a table just in front of the door. That's where they will prepare. All opposition or con or negative teams will be in the hallway preparing their debate case and preparing for the motion. The proposition side stays in the room with you. At that time, you do not talk to the team at all. They can't ask you questions, and you can't answer any questions. You have a timer set from once they've picked this resolution and Con has left the room for 30 minutes. Once that 30-minute timer goes up, Con must come back into the room. If Con fails to come back into the room after 5 minutes, they forfeit the debate and are no longer allowed to participate in that debate, and pro team receives an automatic win. During that prep time, because you're not allowed to speak to the students, it's a great time for you to take your round 1 ballot and make any additional comments that you have, add up the total scores, and make sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Honestly, this is a much easier way of doing the ballot because you have the students' names on the ballot already, the round, and the motion. So you only have to focus on writing the comments and making the total points for the team. Again, the points are here on your packet, so if you are not good at math, you can just refer to this and see generally where you felt the speaker was in for their resolution, or for their team, and what type of speaker they were. So each round, from rounds 2 through 5, are again impromptu. So every single round, you'll be giving this to them. So when you come to the ballot table, you'll receive this for your second round, along with your new ballot for each round. So round 1 is prepared. You immediately go in. and you immediately start the round. Every round after that, it's give the resolutions to the opposition team, then to the pro team, pick the resolution, 30 minutes, write your ballot in that time. After 30 minutes, con comes back in, you immediately start the round. When all speeches have finished, take a minute to look at your notes that you too can make on this type of note sheet. Look at your notes, make comments about the impressions that the speakers gave, their strengths and weaknesses, the issues that you thought were winning and losing in the round, and any individual comments that you want to give speakers. From that point on, the tournament runs completely the same for every single debate. Tomorrow I'll go a little bit through how the resolutions work and some general feedback of the way Asian parliamentary is run. But I hope this was a good introduction to just the logistics of how the tournament works. So I'm excited to start this tournament. I hope that because we are starting a tournament like this, it will disincentivize Hagwon-only participants and encourage more of the international schools to come in, which is really our focus as NSDA Korea. Thank you so much for being a part of this. If you have any questions, please go ahead and send those to my email or my phone number tomorrow, which is 010-4819-3316. I will also have you attached to the Kakao group. If any of you have not sent me your ARC or bank account number, please provide that for me tomorrow and just verify it. So even those that have sent it to me, just go ahead and verify that you know what that number is, because I'll ask you to check it before the end of the tournament. Any feedback that you have for the tournament or the day of operations, please let me know. We will have lunch for you guys, which will be at, I believe, 11:30, so we have kind of an earlier lunch because we're starting so early. If anyone has any dietary concerns, I know there are some that are vegetarian, and we'll take care of those options. But if there's any other dietary concerns, please let us know. I'll see you tomorrow at International Hall from Anam Station, Exit 2. Thank you so much.